IMG Worlds of Adventure. This was my first true taste of what the Dubai theme parks are going to be like, and man, this one was crazy. A fully indoor theme park. It's so weird to say that out loud because when you really think of the concept of a fully indoor theme park, you would think that you're very limited to what you can do. There's no room for expansions. You have to stay strictly into the building's layout. But this was my first taste at what indoor theme parks truly deliver in Dubai, and man, is it something. So IMG Worlds of Adventure is home to a lot of different rides based around a ton of different IPs. They had so many themed lands that you wouldn't see at your everyday theme parks. They have Marvel themed lands. They have a Cartoon Network themed land. They had a Lost Valley themed land based around dinosaurs and prehistoric creatures. It was so cool. So let's go through our day at IMG Worlds of Adventure in this episode of TPH Asia. You walk in and you're greeted by this massive Jurassic tropical area before you see this incredible facade. It's honestly one of the coolest entrances to a park I think I've ever seen. When you walk in, you have many different ways you can go into the park. So we decided to kick off our day in the Lost Valley. This is the prehistoric area of the park. It's all based around dinosaurs and older creatures that have now gone extinct. The first ride of the day, Predator. This is a Gerstlauer Eurofighter coaster. These rides are so fun. A lot of people complained that it was rough and there was really only one pothole in the ride. I thought it was actually fairly smooth. I love how this one, it doesn't slow you down before you go over that drop, so you are getting thrown over that hill down that beyond vertical drop. It's a very forceful ride, a lot of quick transitions and a lot of snappy elements that are just a ton of fun. So then we immediately moved on to an attraction called the Velociraptor. Now this ride was awfully familiar. It's a mock launch coaster, which are great rides, but this one is one of the Blue Fire clones. Now, I will say, I was not the biggest fan of Blue Fire. I thought it didn't really do that much. It was fairly forceless, and while the attraction itself was fun, it just didn't do anything special. This ride surprised me a little bit. That launch was way punchier. I don't know what they did to this one that they didn't do to Blue Fire, but that launch had a kick. And the layout's fun. There's some cool interactive set pieces throughout the ride that are really great. Obviously, that final inversion at the end is going to throw you out of your seat. It's super sick. I was very surprised because I went in thinking it was going to be just like Blue Fire. I had no expectations and it ended up being a really well done attraction. There's also a dark ride in this area called the Forbidden Territory, and I didn't really know anything about this ride. And when I got on, it was basically a lot like Dinosaur at Animal Kingdom. You board and everything starts calm. You're getting a tour of the prehistoric age where you are seeing a lot of these dinosaurs up close. There was this massive animatronic dinosaur that looked like it got up to 60 feet tall when it stood up. It was insane. And there's some screen elements in there, but everything's very physical. You're getting up close and personal with a lot of dinosaurs like Stegosauruses, T-Rexes. It was actually really sick, and the movement was very similar to Dinosaur. You're on that Jeep, it's moving all around as you're going through this layout. It had a simulator section at the end. It was super well done. I was very surprised at this dark ride because I've never heard anyone talk about it, and it ended up being one of my all-time favorite rides. So that was a massive surprise. So then we headed into the world of Cartoon Network because they have so many rides here that literally just complete my childhood. They had an Adventure Time ride that was so fun. You literally board Jake and Finn's right above him, and you're getting a tour of the whole area, while you're also going through this Adventure Time storyline with lots of different physical sets. My favorite part of it is you enter the Cartoon Network themed restaurant, and the second you walk in, Jake starts singing Bacon Pancakes. I was like, my childhood's complete. This is incredible. It was so cool to finally see Cartoon Network have an attraction that justifies it. And then probably the ride I was most looking forward to in this area, the amazing ride of Gumball. Gumball is one of my all-time favorite shows, especially growing up. And it's an interactive shooting ride where you are going through Elmore. You had Penny, you had the whole Watterson family. It was so sick seeing everything up close and personal, and literally the whole queue as you're walking through the school, and then you board your vehicle and you're going all through the town. I loved it. It put the biggest smile on my face. The ride itself really wasn't anything that special, but the fact that there was an attraction themed after Gumball just completed me. Now, only thing is, I wish Clarence had a ride. They have to do my boy Clarence. They have to give him some justice, alright? So then we headed into the Marvel area, where they had a ton of attractions that all were incredible. They're the Avengers Battle for Ultron. You literally had a dark ride themed around Avengers and Ultron. That's so sick. It's essentially the Avengers Age of Ultron movie, but you are on the Spider-Man ride vehicle and you're fighting and defeating Ultron. It's a different storyline, but very similar concept. You're following around Hulk and Thor and Iron Man. It was so cool. It was really well done. It was very long. There's some great sets throughout it as well. Just shockingly really well done. There's also Spider-Man and Doc Ock spinning coaster, which was shockingly really good. This ride's a clone of a Sierra Sidewinder and Knott's Berry Farm, so I went in thinking it wasn't going to be that special because Sierra Sidewinder doesn't do much. This one was way more intense. A lot of spinning and a lot of the interactives through the physical sets and the different elements on the ride. Super fun. This ended up being my favorite coaster of the day. I had no expectations going in, and I ended up really enjoying this ride. It was a ton of fun. So then we ended our day with a ride I did not know much about. It's called the Hulk 3D Epsilon Base. This would end up being one of my favorite rides ever made. So you go in, you go through your pre-shows, and you sit down in this massive dome theater, and there's 3 different rows, so I sit in the back row. The most comfortable seats I've ever sat in, literally feel like movie theater seats. Put on a seatbelt, put on the glasses, and you just kind of lie back. And then the whole show, essentially, is happening above you on this massive dome. And while you're there, your whole ride vehicle, which is essentially this massive just platform you're sitting on, is tilting left and right, spinning all around. So it's like an 8 to 9 minute ride, super long. There was a point where it just would spin a ton and wouldn't stop, and you felt like a couple of G's that were super sick. It was such an incredible ride. This is a ride made by Falcon's Creative that they really need to push more, I think, in this market, because this ride truly blew me away, and I think with amazing graphics at a really good park, this thing would be one of the greatest attractions in the entire world. I literally couldn't believe how sick this ride was. Overall, IMG was a massive surprise. I went in with little expectations because I just knew about the coasters. I didn't really know a lot about the dark rides, but the lineup didn't look that great when really every ride here exceeded expectations. Everything was super fun. Everything blew me away. It's definitely worth your time when you come visit Dubai. It was such an incredible park. And this is just the beginning. There's so many other parks around Dubai and UAE, and so many parks that are fully indoors as well. I'm very excited to see what's coming next.